Hi, this is Peggy Smedley, and I am the Editorial Director of Connected World magazine, and I'm here with Brenna Berman, who is the CIO of the City of Chicago, and we're here to is the CIO of the City's Internet of Things Council. Brenna, thank you for being with me today.
Thanks for having me.
You know, what I want to talk to you about is, can you explain your role in the City of Chicago and what you're doing?
Sure, so I'm the Chief Information Officer for the city, and that means I'm responsible for all our operational technology as well as the mayor's technology-driven innovation agenda.
So tell me, how would you define what is a smart city? Because that's pretty exciting stuff.
It is, and you know, smart cities mean different things in different places, and for us here in Chicago, it's really about how we're using technology and data to make the city as efficient as possible and as responsive to the residents' and businesses' needs.
So where does the City of Chicago stand as being its progress as a smart city in all of this today?
So we're moving as fast as we can. Mayor Emanuel has really high expectations, and we're really making strong progress. We use data to make decisions faster and more informed, and we're looking at ways to use sensors to collect more and more data every day. So there's a lot of different examples, but we're making really fast and aggressive progress along the way.
So for anyone listening right now and watching this video, what does that mean when you use data in the big scheme of things? Because that's important. Everybody talks about data, but how important is that for operationally for a city to use data and information?
It's extremely important. I would say our data is probably one of our best resources, and a really good example of that is recently we just completed a pilot and fully operationalized our ability to use data to drive predictive restaurant inspections. And so what that means is we're using data to determine where the health inspectors go to inspect restaurants that are likely to have infractions. And by using data to determine where those inspectors go, we're actually getting to those restaurants that are most likely to have health infractions 7 days faster than we did before we were using that data. And what that means for residents is actually they're less likely to suffer, terrible things like food poisoning than they were before we were using data. So that means more operational days for restaurants that are making money and creating jobs, and less days suffering food poisoning for people that are visiting our restaurants. So that's data in action, and that's Chicago as a city being more responsive to the needs of our residents.
And that's really impressive what you're saying there. Are there other good and really impressive or other initiatives that you have underway right now that the city's doing?
Sure. I mean, we use data to make everything from rodent baiting more predictive to looking at examples now, things that are under development but not yet in place. We're looking at ways to use data to drive building inspections to be more efficient, to other areas in our health department, to areas in our family and support services department. So really data can help almost any city service be more efficient and responsive.
Is there anything else that's going on that you'd like to share that we don't know that's exciting that's going on with the city these days?
I think the most exciting project, which is one that we hope to pilot by the end of the summer and is just getting on its legs down at the University of Chicago, is a project called the Array of Things. This is a partnership with the University of Chicago and Argonne Labs around very specific city sensors that are going to help us collect more very specific data about the city and tell us even more about what's going on with our city, and help us use that data to learn even more about how the city really feels and thinks, and how the buildings and the environment interact together, and help us develop even more responsive services.
Brenna, thank you for being with us today, and we appreciate and we look forward to hearing more about what's going on with the city.
Thanks so much, Peggy. It was great talking with you.